One of my favorite things to have is prawn toast. I love it so much. So I'm going to show you how to make a prawn toast, but with a little bit of green curry through it. So we've got a green curry prawn toast. Really exciting stuff. So I've got some prawns here. Gonna go straight into my food processor. They've been deveined and also shelled and tailed. We've got some egg whites. This will just kind of help bind the prawn mousse together. A little bit of green onion. So we just want the white part of the green onion. I'm just gonna quickly roughly chop that. That's gonna go straight in. We've got some coriander, which is beautiful. We're just gonna use the stems and reserve the leaves for a little bit later for the garnishes. All right, so just the ends of that, just a rough chop. That goes straight in. We're gonna set this aside for a little bit later. We've got some sugar. I've got a little bit of salt. We just like a nice kind of pinch of that. So we've got some sesame oil, which is so typical with a prawn toast. It's just beautiful. It adds that toastiness that you want. I've got a green curry paste. Look, this jar I always have in my pantry. It's just a quick kind of grab and go kind of thing. So if I want to make something like this or just a green curry, I don't have to make the paste myself. It saves me about 20 minutes. So we're just going to use about a tablespoon of this guy. All of our ingredients are in the food processor now. It's time to blend this guy up. So lid, we'll just go back on. And we're going to do quick pulses. We want it to be kind of smooth, but have a little bit of texture still in it. We don't want it to be too paste-like, because I kind of like having little bites of prawns on my prawn toast. All right, so that's almost there. I'm just gonna scrape the sides down and give it another little bit of a blitz, just to make sure everything's really nicely incorporated. Oh, that smells beautiful. The smell from the actual curry paste itself is really coming through. So you're getting a little bit of lemongrass, a little bit of galangal, and a tiny bit of kaffir lime, which is awesome. I can't wait to eat this. Pop this back on, another quick whiz. So our mousse is all done now. Let me just grab this guy out to show you what it looks like. So you can see there's still a little bit of texture there. The egg's really binding really well with the prawn meat. So it's giving a little bit of bounce, but there's still chunks of prawn in there, which is exactly what I want. I'm just gonna set this aside in the fridge for about half an hour to an hour just to firm up. So I've got some beautiful sourdough here. Feel free to use white bread at home if you want that more traditional prawn toast kind of feel, but I wanted to do something a little bit special. So some sourdough. We're gonna just grab a nice dollop of the mousse. Now, don't be too stingy with this. I really like it to be filled with prawn. We're gonna spread this out right to the edges. Really beautiful. Make sure that you get prawn on all the bits. I'm so excited about this, as you can tell. I'm actually gonna put a tiny bit more on because I'm a tiny bit greedy. There we go, that's looking like a nice mound of prawn meat. So that's all good to go. We've got some sesame seeds here. I'm just gonna place this prawn side down into the sesame, and that just helps coat all of that beautiful prawn mousse with the sesame seeds. So when it's frying, you get a really kind of lovely toasty nuttiness to the dish. It's almost all covered, but just to make sure that we get that all those little bits, I'm gonna sprinkle some on there as well. Just gonna give that a nice little push down again to make sure the sesame seeds are definitely into the prawn mousse. So I always like to test my oil with chopsticks. It's something that I do, but basically you put your chopsticks in, and if it bubbles like it is now, then the oil is ready. The prawn toast is going into the oil. I'm just gonna do it prawn side or sesame seed side down. Gently lower that in and it should start frying. Now this will take about 3 minutes all up, so about a minute to a minute and a half on each side. You just want that really golden toasty sesame and then the bread to be toasted on the other side as well. So I'm gonna flip the prawn toast now. It's had about a minute and a little bit, so it's looking really golden and beautiful. We're gonna give it the same amount of time on the other side to make sure that the bread is really beautiful and crispy. So that prawn toast has had the same amount of time on the other side. I'm gonna take it out, drain it off on some paper to get rid of that excess oil. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna set him aside now and get started on my kind of little bit of a dressing on top. So what I've got here is some QP mayo, which is my favorite. We're gonna do about a cup of that guy. We've got some sriracha, about a tablespoon. So it's a little bit spicy. If you don't like sriracha, don't put it in, or just put a tad in. Tabasco works as well, but I love the flavor of this. It's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit vinegary, and it's a little bit hot, which I am obsessed with. Gonna give him a little mix. As you can see here, the sriracha and the mayo has really well incorporated now. I'm gonna make it a lot easier for me to put on the prawn toast by putting it into a little squeezy bottle. I've got some of these reserved spring onion greens and the tops of the coriander. That's going to be used as garnish, so I'm just going to chop this guy up. So I want it to be quite beautiful, so I'm just going to go little diagonals, quite chunky still. So that's the spring onion done. The coriander is just a little rough chop, nothing too intense. I'll actually grab some more leaves as well. Just do the same thing again. All right. So that's kind of our garnishes ready. We're gonna grab a plate. The prawn toast, we're just gonna lay that right there in the middle of the plate. We've got the sriracha mayo that we've just made. Really simple. We're gonna put this just kind of scattered over the top of that, and then finish with some toasted sesame seeds. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, at this stage, if you want to add some more heat to it, feel free to add some chili flakes, some fried chili, or even just some fresh chili over the top. I think I'm actually going to add a little bit of a fresh chili, so I've just got one. Let's just give that a nice little slice. Couple of these guys over the top. If you don't like heat, don't worry about it, but I definitely do, so that's definitely going on. Really simple. That right there is my take on prawn toast, and that's a green curry prawn toast.